2018 was an amazing year for NXT, featuring a 3-match saga between Ciampa and Gargano to the Velveteen Dream star power rising higher and higher. And this list was very difficult to narrow down to just 10, but I'm gonna try it anyways. So get ready for a whole lot of action, storytelling, and a heck of a lot of Johnny Gargano. I'm Jacob from the WRESTLEDUDE YouTube channel, and here are my top 10 NXT Takeover matches of 2018. Number 10. Tommaso Ciampa vs. the Velveteen Dream for the NXT Championship, Takeover War Games 2. Tommaso Ciampa vs. the Velveteen Dream was a great test for both Ciampa and Dream, with Ciampa coming off his 3 matches against Johnny Gargano and winning the NXT Championship from Aliester Black, whereas the Velveteen Dream just came off his only 2nd NXT Takeover victory against EC3 at the previous event. Yet both men created an incredible story in this match, with the Velveteen Dream channeling his inner Hulk Hogan and Tommaso Ciampa channeling that evil bastard heel that everybody just loves to hate. The two had an amazing battle with multiple near falls that would make you think that the match could go either way, with Ciampa retaining or the Velveteen Dream winning the coveted NXT Championship. And although Velveteen Dream came out on the losing end and did not pick up the title here, this was the match that proves that he deserves to be in the main event title scene of either NXT or either main roster show. Number 9. Kairi Sane vs. Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship, Takeover Brooklyn 4. With these two facing off for the 3rd time after Kairi Sane defeated Shayna Baszler in the finals of the inaugural Mae Young Classic, and Shayna Baszler evening the score with a match on NXT TV, these two went into a rubber match that definitely felt like it belonged on a big takeover stage like in Brooklyn. Kairi Sane played a great babyface in peril in this match, whereas Baszler played a dominating heel, bending Kairi Sane's legs and delivering devastating strikes to Kairi's legs as well, with the ultimate moment coming towards the end of the match where Shayna Baszler would lock in the Kirifuda clutch, only for Kairi Sane to turn it into a roll-up pin, earning the victory and earning the Pirate Princess her first taste of NXT title treasure. Number 8. Ember Moon vs. Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship, NXT Takeover New Orleans. Following her first takeover defeat to Ember Moon in Philadelphia, Baszler's next title shot came WrestleMania weekend in New Orleans. Baszler came into this match a little less cocky and more vicious than the previous encounter, with Ember Moon delivering the vintage shoulder stomp onto Baszler's arm, the same move that she would use on Dakota Kai. It would seem that Baszler would be brought down to the size of the She-Nom. Highlights of this match include Baszler slamming her arm into the ring post to fix her separated shoulder after Ember Moon attacked it, Ember Moon hitting an eclipse to the outside only to get a near fall moments later, and in the final moments, Shayna Baszler would catch Ember Moon's top rope stunner, the Eclipse, into a Kirifuda clutch, and even with one good arm, Shayna Baszler was able to make Ember Moon pass out, thus granting the Queen of Spades the NXT Women's Championship. With Ember Moon going to Raw in the coming days, and Baszler set to run the NXT Women's division heading forward, this was an amazing send-off for Moon, and a great way to set the pace for Baszler's first reign as champion. Number 7. The Undisputed Era vs. Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan for the NXT Tag Team titles, Takeover Chicago 2. Going into this match, it had a very interesting atmosphere around it, since this takeover event was taking place in Chicago, a much smarkier crowd for professional wrestling. The crowd erupted with cheers for the heel tag team champions, the Undisputed Era, and actually booed the team of Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. Yet, through the boos, the challengers carried on with the amazing tag team wrestling that NXT is known for showcasing at its best. Lorcan and Burch got the crowd on their side after incredible moments like Oney Lorcan being shoved off the top rope and hitting the apron, only for him to come back and hit a double blockbuster to the floor on both of his opponents. The duo's star-making performance, though, came to an end with the Undisputed Era hitting a series of strikes to Oney Lorcan, with a knee from Roderick Strong actually collapsing Oney Lorcan's face in. The Undisputed Era would retain the tag team titles, but Burch and Lorcan would win the respect of the NXT audience in attendance that night. Number 6. Johnny Gargano vs. Aliester Black, Takeover War Games 2. With Johnny Gargano fresh off his heel turn and Aliester Black back from his injury, these two had a big sleeper hit at Takeover War Games 2, Bloodbath Boogaloo. Gargano switching up his style to be more heelish, even so far as to come to the ring wearing an attire inspired by Marvel's The Punisher rather than the more clean-cut superheroes he had donned before, such as Captain America and Spider-Man. Aliester Black looked better than ever after returning from a groin injury that had him miss the previous TakeOver event. This match had great storytelling and hard-hitting strikes such as Gargano hitting a suicide dive into a DDT on the floor and Black hitting a springboard Meteora. Black would taunt Gargano as he tried to deliver the super kick from the corner, only for Gargano to come back, hit the super kick and the running knee combination for only a near fall. Black would fire back with a counter of a suicide dive into a massive V-trigger, a discus knee strike in the ring, and finishing off Johnny Takeover with a double black mass for the victory, making Johnny Wrestling fade to black. Number 5. Ricochet vs. the Velveteen Dream, TakeOver Chicago 2. Ricochet vs. Dream was a showcasing not only for the Velveteen Dream, but it would be Ricochet's first one-on-one singles match at a TakeOver event since signing with the company. The match featured Velveteen Dream's attire inspired by both Hulk Hogan and even Ricochet's alter ego Prince Puma, as Dream looked to prove that if Ricochet was the king, that Dream would be the prince that would take over the spotlight from the human highlight machine that is Ricochet. The match's finish based around the idea of anything you can do, the Dream can do better. As Ricochet missed a shooting star press, the Velveteen Dream would try to one-up him by hitting a purple Rainmaker elbow with Ricochet all the way in the other corner. The Velveteen Dream would come up short as Ricochet would hit his 630 splash for the win, as this victory sent Ricochet into the North American title scene, and it continued to prove why the Velveteen Dream was a main event star. Number 4. The NXT North American Championship ladder match, TakeOver New Orleans. This match was a beautiful example of the brutality of a ladder match, as it featured so many spots using the bone-bruising weapons. The match would also feature the debuting Ricochet and the returning Derek Bateman, now returning to WWE as the top 1% EC3. The match never had a dull moment, with each superstar getting their chance to shine. The match featured moments such as Dream hitting an elbow off the top of a ladder onto Lars Sullivan, Dream hitting a Death Valley driver onto Ricochet on a ladder bridge inside the ring, Ricochet being thrown around like a rag doll by Killian Dane and Lars Sullivan, Adam Cole delivering a super kick party, and Lars Sullivan and Killian Dane destroying ladder bridges that were set up at ringside. The match would come to an end as it seemed Ricochet would win gold in his debut match, only for the Undisputed Era's Adam Cole to sneak up and grab gold for himself, making him the first ever NXT North American champion. And the match was loved by fans and critics alike, as the Wrestling Observer himself, Dave Meltzer, awarded this match its coveted 5 stars, which is never really seen with multi-man ladder matches before. But on this night, it was brutal, it was amazing, and it set the pace for a beautiful night of TakeOver action. Number 3. Adam Cole vs. Aliester Black in an Extreme Rules match, TakeOver Philadelphia. With the Undisputed Era running roughshod over NXT, Adam Cole and Aliester Black were set for a match at TakeOver, and since the event was taking place in Philadelphia, the home of ECW, William Regal made the match an Extreme Rules match, and extreme it was, as the match featured brutal spots such as Adam Cole smacking Black with a kendo stick in mid-moonsault, Black hitting an electric chair drop sending Cole bouncing off a ladder, Adam Cole super kicking a chair into Black's face sending him crashing through 2 tables at ringside, and the most painful moment of the match came when Adam Cole set up 2 chairs back to back, only for Black to lift up Adam Cole and hit an attitude adjustment onto the tops of the chairs, causing the crowd to scream out in excitement, whereas Adam Cole was screaming out in sheer pain. As the match continued, the Undisputed Era's Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly would get involved, only to be chased off by the returning group Sanity, causing Cole to suffer a black mass and giving the Dutch Destroyer the victory. Number 2. Johnny Gargano vs. Andrade Cien Almas for the NXT Championship, TakeOver Philadelphia. As we stay in Philadelphia, we go to the main event, which featured a newly invigorated Andrade Cien Almas as the NXT champion, pitting against Johnny Gargano, coming to the ring dressed as one of his many TakeOver superhero attires. The two had undoubtedly the match of the night, as the two had faced off previously, but never at the level that it was tonight, as the men knew each other so well. Moments in the match were intensified, as many thought it could be the night Johnny Wrestling would become champion. The match match included moments such as Almas flipping out of a sunset flip powerbomb and delivering the double knees in the corner to Gargano. As the crowd gave a standing ovation to the match, Almas would up the intensity, delivering a Tree of Woe foot stomp onto the apron and then shoving Gargano's head into the ring's LED board repeatedly. As the match was taking place, Andrade's manager Zelina Vega would repeatedly get involved until she was stopped by Gargano's wife and newest NXT signing Candice LeRae, who jumped the barricade and chased Vega, making it a fair fight for Gargano, as Gargano looked to have the match won with not only the slingshot DDT for a near fall, but also the Gargano escape locked in until Almas was able to break free. The two would fight onto the apron as Almas shoved a bloody-mouthed Gargano into the LED ring post and delivered the running knees and finishing off Gargano with the same top rope DDT that would win Almas the title previously and would help retain the title here tonight. The match was an amazing showing for both men and earned WWE's first 5-star match since John Cena vs. CM Punk from the 2011 Money in the Bank pay-per-view. The action wouldn't stop there, as after the match, Gargano and his wife Candice stood on the rampway, and as the ending signature appeared in the corner of the screen and the show was about to go off air, bam! Tommaso Ciampa would appear and nail Gargano in the back with a crutch, returning from injury and immediately setting his sights on his former DIY tag team partner. And number 1, Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa in a Chicago street fight. NXT Takeover Chicago 2. This feud defined NXT for the majority of 2018, with 3 TakeOver main events to choose from. It was very hard, but rewatching all of them, I had to choose their battle from TakeOver Chicago 2, and it added another layer on top of the feud with them returning to the place where Ciampa had previously turned on Gargano. As the street fight goes, both men were wearing shirts and pants, and Gargano came out to the ring dressed as Captain America, whereas Ciampa came to the ring sporting camo pants and a purple shirt with a custom design on it depicting Ciampa as the Mad Titan Thanos, ready to snap Gargano out of existence. This match featured all the brutality of the first one, and both men quickly battled into the crowd, where a fan gave Johnny Gargano a hidden stop sign as a weapon, which really makes me question the arena's security for tonight. But Gargano would continue, hitting Ciampa with a massive dive out of the stands, only for Ciampa to get the upper hand later on, putting a chair around Gargano's neck and slamming it into the steel steps at ringside. Later on in the match, Ciampa would drag Gargano up the ramp, recreating the scene from the previous Chicago TakeOver, and then dragged Gargano onto a set of equipment boxes to finally put Gargano away. Trying to add insult to injury, Ciampa would take off Johnny Gargano's wedding ring, spit on it, and then throw it off, which provided Johnny with enough time to stir, lift up Ciampa out of nowhere, and hit an air raid crash from up high, down through a set of tables, and down to the concrete floor below. And with the match seemingly called off and medical help coming to load Ciampa onto a stretcher, Gargano became enraged, attacking the medical help and dragging Ciampa and the stretcher back to the ring, where he would continue the punishment. And as backstage officials tried to stop Gargano, he would take them out, not wanting to quit punishing his former friend, handcuffing Ciampa and delivering not one, but multiple super kicks and locking in the Gargano escape. But unfortunately, there was no referee in sight, and as Gargano fought off more officials to climb back in the ring and get back at Ciampa, he would get caught by Ciampa as he delivered a draping DDT through the ropes onto the exposed wood floor of the ring from earlier. With both hands cuffed behind his back, Ciampa would pin Gargano for the win and send the Chicago crowd into a stunned silence, bringing the two's rivalries one step higher than it had already been. Ciampa would walk out victorious, as this match itself walks away with the number 1 spot. And with an influx of talent to NXT like Keith Lee, Mia Yim, Matt Riddle, and many, many more, NXT looks to top itself in the year 2019 with exceptional matches much like we saw at the TakeOver events of 2018. But did I miss any out? What are your favorite NXT TakeOver matches from this year, and what matches do you hope to see in the future? Let me know in the comments section below, but other than that, I have been Jacob from the WRESTLEDUDE YouTube channel, and if you haven't seen my top 10 list for the NXT TakeOver matches of 2017, it'll pop up here in just a second, but if you haven't already, please subscribe to the WRESTLEDUDE channel.